Thank you. Senator Cardin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Let me thank both of our witnesses for your service to our country. We thank you for taking on this challenge. Diversity at the State Department is critically important, as both of you have said. America's strength is in our values, and we should be judged by our actions. So diversity is a very important goal that we need to obtain. We also have so many challenges in international diplomacy. We need all the talent of all of Americans in our State Department. And then for effectiveness of our foreign policy, we need a workforce that represents this nation. So for all those reasons, it's critically important that we achieve the goals that you have expressed. So the chairman's numbers are extremely disappointing. We've lost over a decade of progress in diversity at the State Department. That is difficult to make up. It takes time for us to achieve these objectives. And yes, Mr. Chairman, thank you very much for holding this hearing. This hearing is solely focused on this issue. But I want to tell you, we've raised these issues with senior representatives at the State Department at many hearings on oversight of the department generally. And I'm going to tell you, I've heard some of the same replies from those officials that I'm hearing today. So I am concerned that we really are going to see progress. And I point out the GAO report that was issued in 2020 that showed the deficiencies in regards to what we needed to do on diversity. And then last week, they issued the report, State Department Additional Actions Needed to Improve Workplace Diversity and Inclusion. And it points out to the deficiencies in performance measures and accountability. I've heard you mention, Madam Ambassador, that you are dealing with performance and accountability, but we haven't seen the specifics. So how can you reassure this committee that you have listened to the challenges we've had for a long time at State Department, not having adequate performance measures and not having adequate accountability to make sure we achieve our objectives? What difference are being taken under your leadership?
Thank you. Thank you, Senator, for the question. It was important from the very beginning when we started this mission that it be clear this time is different. Our credibility with our workforce demanded it. Our credibility with you and the American people demanded it. And so we have taken concrete steps with regard to accountability for actually moving this forward. In addition to putting the need for support for DEIA in our performance evaluations, again, this was a clear signal to all of our workforce from top to bottom that this work is important, that we're taking it seriously, that it is going to count with regard to your ability to be promoted in the Foreign Service. And it's for senior leaders down to entry level. Everyone has to address this. It is part of the civil service job performance element for those who supervise. So we're sending a clear signal there. We've released guidance on integrating DEIA into our post-integrated country strategies. So this isn't Washington focused. This is around the world. We have strengthened our policy on vetting. We get back to that accountability. People can talk the talk, but are they doing their best to ensure that we have the best representing our nation? One of the ways that we have done this is to ensure that I am on the committees that select senior positions, chiefs of mission, deputy chiefs of mission, deputy assistant secretaries, and principal officers. So everyone heading up the ladder understands that this issue and their support, participation, impactful work on this issue is going to count with regard to whether they are going to be tapped for leadership positions. So those are things that we've done with regard to accountability so that people understand that we're serious. And we continue to make the point in our actions and in our words because we know that we have a credibility gap. We know what those numbers are.
So let me just conclude by, you started by saying that you've invested a lot of resources in getting the specific demographic information about the workforce broken down by department, et cetera. Will you make that information available to this committee on a regular basis?
Yes.
Thank you.
Senator Cruz.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ambassador Abercrombie, Winstanley.